Hello, this is Mike Swanson. I run the website WallStreetWindow.com. And today, as the stock market opens on September the 2nd, 2025, this 10-ounce bar of silver is worth over $400 because the price of silver is opening today over $40 an ounce. If you can remember a year ago, really a year and a half ago, silver was below $26 an ounce. And I want to talk to you about silver, some news events we can look forward to the rest of this year, and where I've been, because I haven't done a YouTube video in over a year now, not a real one. And I'm going to talk about that with you. But first, let me share my screen. This is SLV, the biggest volume traded, exchange traded fund in the United States for silver. And you can see it's trading today right under 37. The silver is over 40 though. And there are some news stories about this. However, it should be pointed out that when it comes to gold and silver, over the past several years, there's been big buying all over the world. And most of it's been driven with central bank purchases, which really began to accelerate in 2023 following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But inside the United States, there's only been a couple months where there was some demand among retail investors, Americans, in buying gold and silver. While small investors around the world have been accumulating, Americans have not. In fact, I think it was in 2023, there was net selling, and also in 2024, in the GLD and SLV ETFs, despite the price gains. Now, this article that just came out today talks to one of the quotes in it is they talk to some bullion dealers about their expectations for the metals demand. These are American bullion dealers. And they're saying that despite the gain this year, and look, gold is up more than the S&P 500. The GDX mining stock ETF, which I own a position in, is up more than NVDA. I mean, it's amazing. Despite the big runs, mining stocks are now the top sector in the market all year. Despite all that, retail investors in the United States have zero interest. I look at the top traded positions on various trading platforms. You know, they'll list the 100 most traded stocks and ETFs every day. It never is GDX on the list, which is absolutely amazing. And here's this quote here that many of the bullion dealers, they think that the demand for silver, physical silver, is going to continue to remain low, and it's been dropping and dropping, and it's been at a near multi-decade low, and they think it's going to go down even further by another 10%. Now, which is amazing when it's going up, but they think the reason why is that their American investors believe that Donald Trump is going to fix the United States and better manage the budget, so there's no need for hedges. I don't really think that's the reason. I think the reason is that American investors, retail investors, have been driven into crypto and told by crypto gurus to not buy gold and silver. And so they're just ignoring what's going on. Anyway, you know, it's something to talk about on another day. But again, I just want to show you the charts because it's so exciting. And then I'll talk a little bit about what I've been doing this year. Here's GDX, the gold stock ETF I mentioned, which I own a position in. And here's GLD. which represents gold. It broke out last week, really, after consolidating since making a temporary peak in April. Now, what has happened with myself is I write a newsletter. I talk about things I'm buying, things I'm thinking about buying in it, an email newsletter, Wall Street Window. And I used to do lots of YouTube videos, but I stopped about a year ago. And I came to the conclusion that there was very little interest in what I had to say among YouTube viewers because the algorithm is sending them the content that they want, which is what people want to hear. It's just the way it is. And very few people have any interest in gold and silver. So the algorithm was not pushing out my videos to people. So I just didn't want to take the time anymore to do them and think about it. But I wanted to do this video and come back and tell you it's at 40 bucks an ounce. And also tell you what I've been doing since that last YouTube video as far as a couple trades go. It's a paradox. I'm actually having the best year financially I've ever had in the financial markets, despite the fact that there's less interest I came to think a year ago in what I have to say on YouTube, which just like okay, I'm done for a while. Now, when we talk about some of the trades I've done this summer, and I've talked about them in the newsletter. And when I say trades, they're really positions. I'm not out of them. I tend to buy something to hold for at least 12 months. But I had been talking in my newsletter for almost a year before I finally took the position in palladium. And palladium broke out of a stage 1 base in late May. And platinum was also did the same thing. Platinum, as you can see, went up even further. Both of them had massive short positions in the futures market among retail investors, which triggered a squeeze, and that helped fuel the price up. We knew the squeeze was likely to occur. It did occur. I talked about it in the newsletter, and I still hold the positions. Now, I didn't buy futures contracts. The biggest way I bought it was with this ETF, SPPP, the Sprott Physical Platinum and Palladium Trust. I still own it. It's a stage 1 breakout. I think it's going to go up. To me, this is a long-term investment. To me, this was in the same position that silver was in when I did my last YouTube video when silver in 2024, when silver was at $26 an ounce. To me, this breakout here was as significant as that breakout when silver went to 26. Now silver's at 40. I fully expect silver to go up more, but I fully expect palladium and platinum perhaps to go up at a larger percentage gain rate just because of the different positions these different metals markets are in for the next 12 months, let's say. Now, I also talked about in my newsletter that coming into this year, I really had no strong opinion on what the U.S. stock market would do this year. And I still feel that way. I have no real strong opinion on what the U.S. stock market's going to do from the start of this Labor Day till New Year's. I really do not. I know YouTube wants predictions. The algorithm wants picks and predictions that match what the viewers already believe. And that's why people are cheerleading the stock market, cheerleading AI, despite the negative impacts it has in society, cheerleading crypto, because so many people are invested in trading these things. NVDA is the most owned stock in the entire U.S. stock market, the biggest market cap stock just about. in the S&P 500, the most traded stock. So everyone wants to hear about it, and they love AI predictions that it's going to make the world a paradise when it's, doing a lot of harm. But regardless, the trend I was most convinced of, had the most certainty about, was not what the US stock market would do, but that the US dollar index would continue to decline this year, because I think that the US debt situation is going to make it decline. But it's also true that the Trump administration has stated that they want the US dollar index to go down because they think it'll help US manufacturers. Either way, I thought that was the most certain trend. In a certain sense, gold and silver are bets that trend is going to continue. However, I wanted to take other bets on that, and there's different ways to do it. One would be to use the Forex market to trade currencies, to take advantage of changes in the exchange rate. And I thought about that, 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 and I thought, well, you know what? I didn't really want to do it. And there's other ways to do something similar. One could be buying foreign stocks, because when the dollar goes down, the stocks would benefit if you buy them, foreign stocks, from the declining dollar and change the exchange rate. But I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it more, and I thought, how about foreign bonds? So I took a position with about 8% of my money or so in foreign bonds around May too. And I talked about in the newsletter, I bought an ETF that invests in foreign bonds. This is it. And you can see the move it's had since April to today. So again, this isn't like it's just, and I do have American bonds too, that, just like people have money markets, I just let them expire and roll them over and get some interest. So those are the two big trades, new trades I've done this year. I haven't had to buy gold. I haven't had to buy silver because I already loaded the bus up before this year ever began. I was talking about it, the breakout in April of 2026 or 2024. Well, here's the deal. This is the first real YouTube video I've done in a long time. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to do a couple more and see how it goes. If I get more views, I'll keep doing them. If it doesn't pick up though, because the algorithm, doesn't push the videos out, I'm just gonna not have the motivation. And let me show you an example of what I'm talking about here. I did a video on Sunday right here. It got 59 views, and I did a podcast that YouTube picked up, and it got 65 views. And you can see a year ago was when I did the last one, before these two. That one got 960. But I was typically getting views of 1,000 until I stopped doing it. And I can see YouTube gives you internal statistics. And I could see when silver was under $26, I was doing a lot of videos over like a 6-8 week period. And the number of views I was getting was not growing. And I could tell there wasn't growing interest in what I had to say. And I felt like I was on a hamster wheel. YouTube the algorithm makes it so you have to keep putting out content or you get punished. And you can see that in the views here. Only 59 views for a video I put out a day ago, when a year ago I could get hundreds, 1,000 easily. So my channel's been punished, and it was already not a winner on YouTube as far as the algorithm is concerned. And that's why I stopped doing the videos. I can communicate with over 10,000 people that subscribe to my newsletter and interested in what I'm saying. And that's what I do, So I don't have much motivation to take a lot of time to make content for 1 or 200 people when there's 10,000, over 10,000 getting my newsletter. Does that make sense to you? So if this channel can pick up and the views pick up, I'll keep doing videos. I'm going to do a couple, and we'll see what happens. All I want to see is growth. I don't need, 1,000 views next week. I just want to see growth, and if and that's all I'm looking for. I understand I got punished, and YouTube does this as a way to make people who do videos feel like they can't stop, because if they stop, they will be punished, as my channel has been punished, as you can see. So these big tech companies are not nice guys. All right. AI is not an innovation really designed to help you. It's designed as a weapon against independent news companies and publishers to take their content and plagiarize it and feed it back, and not give the traffic to those that first created it. Anyway, these are all things I may talk about later in the future, but this is the world we live in, and this is, a great time to be in these markets, buying, investing in precious metals. So, just remember that if you have one takeaway from what I'm talking with you about today. And stay tuned. I will have another video sometime soon.